So I just took a quick meander through my TikToks and realized that I didn't have one going over what Jesus and I had talked about the night that he showed up in my kitchen while I was making pasta. I have, however, done a whole podcast episode on this, so if there's any other details that I leave out, they're most likely in that podcast episode, so just FYI. So I was making pasta one night, it was after a channeling session, and all of a sudden this dude just shows up in my kitchen. And I was sitting talking to my friend at the time, and I was like, yo, dude, look at this being that just showed up. And she was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, he looks like Jesus. And this dude turns to me and he was like, I am Jesus. And I was like, okay. So I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to ask you all of the questions that I've had for the whole time I've been Christian and onwards. So I asked him why he incarnated on Earth, and he said that his purpose was to be a human and be able to utilize all of the spiritual abilities that we also have and be able to teach us and show us that we had those abilities too. But the problem was that most people saw him and were like, oh, he's a god because we can't do these things, because they didn't actually realize they could do them. So it became this whole thing where he said that people really put him up on this pedestal that he didn't ask to be on, which ended up with him trying to teach them well, if I can't teach them how to use their abilities, at least I can teach them other things on how to be spiritually awakened and more aware of how we're all connected. And then people twisted that. We just really ruin everything. And then obviously the whole crucifixion thing happened, which in the Bible, it talks about him talking to God the night before his crucifixion. And he said that it was him speaking with his spirit team and discussing with them what was going to happen. And they said, yes, this is part of your life path. You chose to pass away early, and you chose to become someone who would help people see that life does not end at death, that our spirits still live on, which is what the whole crucifixion was. It was basically just meant to be a portrayal of how our spirits go on after death, and how death is the end of our physical body, but not of our spiritual body. I also asked him about the walking on water thing, and he said that he did not cause, I think it was Peter, correct me if I'm wrong, to walk on water. He said he was already able to walk on water. I just gave him the confidence to believe in himself to do that. And I was like, wow, this is going to ruin the church. It's not, I'm joking. This is sarcastic. You can believe whatever you want, but this is just my experience and what he said to me. As long as you're not hurting other people, I really don't give a shit what you believe. Anyways, that's my story with Jesus.